This is very interesting for me. We're going to talk about Draymond Green, the Warriors, basketball player, NBA. If you don't know much about him, here's a little picture of him. But he had an interview where he was humble enough to ask Klay Thompson, one of his team players, what does he think about the fact that he keeps getting escorted out of games, removed from the court because of the actions that he's taking. Draymond Green, during some of his games, sometimes people know him to be very physical. He can get very physical. Sometimes getting flagrant fouls, which means, potentially you can get kicked out of a game. He gets ejected. And he's going to talk about that right here. And Klay Thompson's response is a response that I think that not only Draymond Green needs to hear, but it's also a response that I think could be very encouraging for any ear that'll listen. Let's get into this. We're going to talk about it.
But be brutally honest with me. When I get ejected or something of that nature or suspended, what do you feel? How do you feel? What are your thoughts?
Well,
please be brutally honest with me. It's going to crush me, but I need to hear it.
It happens. I mean, you know what, Dre, you're kind of a throwback player. I always know your intentions are good. You're one of the greatest winners in the history of basketball at every level. So that trumps any statistical output you could ever have. Whatever triple-double, whatever record, the one that means the most to me is that winning percentage. Playoffs, regular season, one of the greatest winning percentages in NBA history. When you're not out there, it's like a piece of us is gone. And me and Steph are really nice guys, like probably too nice, and we could never be ourselves and have the freedom we do on the court without you. So when you're not out there, it's kind of like a huge kink in our armor. And I know the other team is very happy you're not out there. I just know that for a fact. They're like, they relax a little bit. They let their hair down. They feel a little bit more like they pump their chest up a little more because, our muscle's gone. Our enforcer, the heartbeat of our team is not out there. And it does hurt. But at the end of the day, we've been through so many battles, reached the mountaintop, been down the mountain, had to climb back up, got there again. It does hurt. It could be disappointing in the moment, but it will never take away from what's ahead of us and what we've done. So at the end of the day, we just need you. And that like disappointment and that feeling of just like shaking your head that just comes from like, dang, man, we can't do this without you. So we love you and we need you so badly. And these young guys need you too, because Steph and I we're leaders, but we don't talk the game like you do. We don't inspire these young guys like you do. And even when Kenny calls on you in film, and there's going to be a void there always if you're not out there. And we're not the Warriors without Money Green. That's just a fact. And you can ask anybody in the Bay, around the world who's followed this team. We would not be the Dubs without you. So that's where that dang, not again. That's where that comes from. It's just like, man, it's hard to do it without you, bro.
Appreciate that, man. That took a lot from me. But I appreciate that.
Now, when I would see this stuff that was happening with Draymond, things that he was doing on the court, some of the things I had the opportunity to see live at the game, I always started to say, Draymond Green needs counseling. Definitely needs to talk some things out. Because, when you play the game, a basketball, there's normal fouls, there's normal foul play, if you will. There's typical things that happen in, every game every so often. But on some of the clips and some of the things that he was doing and being called out for and the reasons that he was getting ejected, it started making me think that this isn't typical foul stuff. This isn't just normal foul play. Maybe there's some anger that this guy needs to let off his chest, if you will, and he's using the wrong place and the wrong platform to do just that. Now, being in this situation, for him to actually humble himself, why was this message so important? Why is what Klay Thompson said, why does it matter? Why do I think everyone really needs to hear it? Is because he pointed out some good things to Draymond Green. It's frustrating losing you because he's an integral part of the team. that made me think about our walk with Christ, that made me think about life in general, that made me realize how a lot of people don't really know just how important they are. And that's because the devil is really good, man, at spilling lies. And that's why I'm realizing time and time again, the biggest thing I can do for myself is keep this mind under control. That's because that's where the enemy likes to sneak in and tell you things that aren't true. Make you feel like you're not worthy, make you feel like you're not valuable, make you feel that you don't add any value to anything or anyone. And those are all lies, because we know the devil is the author of confusion and lies. But it's interesting because Klay Thompson honestly could have took any approach. He could have took any approach, given the frustration, the anger, the constant, because this isn't just one time that Draymond Green has had to get ejected from a game because of something that he's done, or even said to one of the referees for that matter. He could have came across a completely different way, but I'm glad that he did it the way that he did, because he did it in a way that Draymond Green could receive it and understand that we're not mad at you. And maybe that's a lot of his, history. Maybe he's had a lot of people angry at him. Maybe he doesn't feel approved. Maybe he doesn't feel like he's a part of truly. And sometimes the enemy is really good at doing that, even when we are really actively involved and we're a part of something greater than us, like Draymond Green and the G State Warriors. He's a part of a team and network, something greater than him. The devil does a good job at trying to minimize that, to make you think that you're not important even in the work that you're doing. And he'll do small things, getting in your head, causing you to do things, act out of character. Why? So that way he can disrupt the functionality of everyone else, the people around you, the people that believe in you, the people that see the light that's on you. The enemy is tricky that way, man. He's very tricky, and it's interesting. And I like what Klay Thompson said here. I feel like it applies, man, because the devil's always looking for ways to get us distracted, ways to get us off our path, ways to lure us away from the truth that we know that we find in Jesus Christ. That's just the truth of the matter. So we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay aware. We have to be on alert, knowing that the devil seeks to devour. Because if I can devour Draymond, as Klay Thompson was saying, an integral part of the team, we can't do this without you. We need you out there. And the other teams, they're rejoicing at your downfall. You ever know that too? There's people in life that can rejoice at your downfall. Happy at the fact that you're down. That's terrible, man. It's definitely something to think about, man. But shout out to Klay Thompson for taking that time to be honest. That's difficult to do, especially when someone's coming at you and saying, hey, tell me about myself. Shout out to Klay Thompson for being honest, but even a bigger shout out to Draymond Green for humbling himself enough to put himself in a position to be corrected, to learn, to change, to be transformed. That's powerful. Shout out to these guys, man, and shout out to the NBA. And shout out to the playoffs coming up, man. I'm a Miami Heat fan for y'all who don't know, so we coming in the 8th seed again this year. Y'all see what we did last year after that 8th seed, so don't doubt us, man, and most importantly, don't doubt God. Do not doubt God. Don't get weary in your well-doing, man, for in due time you're going to reap your just reward if you do not give up, if you don't faint. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. Draymond Green, we're seeing here, it's tough. There might be things that he's going through in his personal life, but there's other people in the world, even though you might not know it. There's so many people in the world that love you. There's so many people in the world that need you, that depend and rely on you, even though they may not say it. There is. And we have that purpose as believers and followers of Christ to fulfill those needs for other people, to be here, to stay here, to show up, to be active, to be our best selves as much as we can. But that's all I got for you guys on this one, man. I appreciate you guys staying this long. To the next one, I'm out.